Hello everybody, they call me Muse and I welcome you back to Baldur's Gate 3 and Crimes. It turns out that this particular batch of Zentrim just don't need to exist anymore.
Strip this place bare.
So we're probably going to do something about them. I'm sure you can guess what. But we're not going to do it straight away because we've got various explosives across these bridges that are currently not set to go off. So we'll take advantage of that and head on over here. This little pile of folks,
Oh no. I hate wolves.
they're kind of unrelated
So frightened of wolves.
to everyone else.
Everyone's frightened of something. My fear's hardly irrational when you see the fangs on those things.
So, Shadowheart doesn't like wolves. Maybe she can do something about this one. What if we firebolt this prox explosive?
Behavior has caused upset. Now a fight is unavoidable.
Kind of thinking that might just go off and damage the wolf. But sadly it hasn't. So we've got 3 humans and 3 wolves and 4 of us. This shouldn't be too big of an issue. Although our inability to get close enough to attack these buggers is kind of annoying. But then we've got Misty Step, haven't we? Now we're behind you. And of course we dealt almost enough, but not quite enough. We're always one short on damage. Now you chumps are going to try and do your thing.
You've messed up. At least you won't live to regret it.
We'll just send that one right back at you. And then Lae'zel, 13 HP. Can you do that? Of course you can. Probably pommel strike this dog. Temporarily knocked out. That's good enough for now. Get ready to deal with the next one when it decides to come over.
Keep away from me.
Okay, so Shadowheart is not happy once again. Oops. That's a bow you're using there, Astarion, rather than your fisticuffs. There we go. Frightened no more.
We've buried tougher than you. Come on.
Good job, Nob. Now Shadowheart can do things again. It'll hop over the flames. It's probably good. And then we could definitely ping that one. I don't know how she feels about unconscious wolves. She probably doesn't like them very much. So maybe we deal with that one. And then we could always go for a bit of a flick of the wrist. Saved against it, but took the damage. That's good enough for me. Not quite sure how he got to fire an arrow off from there when there was a cliff face in the way. But we won't question it. Is that going to set off the explosive? No. Good. But sadly that didn't push them off the cliff like the line suggested it was going to. Oh well. Astarion can use actual fisticuffs this time. And it's a crit. Kick his face off. And you're apparently a barbarian. Reckless attack. Well, that's just got you in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, all of these are going to connect. Except for that 96%er from Lae'zel. Can Astarion get up close enough? Or is that going to be tricky? Maybe we're best off just using an action surge. Ah, Shadowheart.
The Grove sported some rather interesting murals, I must say. They just reminded me of something half forgotten. It seemed to depict Lady Shah's warriors in combat. I hadn't known they were active in these parts.
That's not about wolves, as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, tell me more about Shah's warriors.
You know me. I'm not usually one to elaborate if I can avoid it. They looked like Dark Justiciars, an elite force among Lady Shah's ranks. Only the very finest proved themselves worthy of the title.
Sounds like you aspire to join them.
What right-minded servant of Lady Shah wouldn't? But it's a distant dream. The Dark Justiciars have been silent for years. Curious to see them depicted in such a place. Perhaps there's more to it. But there's nothing to be done about it just now.
No, I mean, we've got more people to kill, so yeah, we're a bit busy. But you can tell me about your fear of wolves, can't you?
They're ravenous predators with fangs like daggers. It's hardly an irrational fear to harbor. You've been decent to me so far. Maybe if you can, don't make me face any more of them. At least, not alone.
We'll try to avoid them in the future where possible. If we can't avoid them, we'll stab them in the kidneys.
Thank you. I had a feeling you'd be understanding.
Yeah, we're a nice, caring person. If you're part of our crew, that is. If you're not, oh boy. Now, 2 different keys. That might allow us into
Let's see what this does.
this gate, perhaps. Okay, that one's still locked. Jag, do you have keys? You have another key. That might allow us into a gate. Maybe. I'm assuming the wolves don't have keys. A mechanical key. That might be the one for the elevator down into the Underdark. Okay, that one's Zhentarim key.
That's curious.
Traps. Now, did we give anyone gloves of dexterity? The gloves of sleight of hand? Gloves of thievery, there they are. We haven't given them to anyone yet. Both ourselves and Astarion look good for it. But Astarion does have general proficiency, so what's he currently got? Braces of defense. That's kind of useful, whereas gloves of power, less useful. So I think we will wear the gloves of thievery. Should be an easy enough roll. He says, rolling a 1 and a 5. That's both the chests untrapped. The ornate key lets us into them. Excellent. Don't know if there's much else in here. Okay, we're just going to consider that chest and nothing else. I'm pretty sure if there's anything else valuable in there, it'd be in the locked chests. Now, have we picked up a key for this one yet? Yeah, so that was the Zhentarim key. Doesn't seem to be trapped. That's the Abyss Beckoners. I don't really summon things much in Baldur's Gate 3, so probably won't make much use of them. Ooh, comfortable autumnal outfit. That's definitely better than homely clothes, I think. And a painting of a smiling maiden. That's probably worth some cash. So we need to be careful now, I would assume, because those explosives might consider going off at this point. And we don't want that. But we'll unlock this winch just because we've got the key for it. And then we'll go and deal with the rest of the Zents. Because we can still deliver that chest, you know.
On my way.
That's still an option. It's still unopened. I'm wondering if we just open it and help ourselves the contents, though. That might be fun. Now, who's left? Bella, Brem, Garius, Zaris. This might be the whole of the crew that remains. So let's just start a rumble.
I thought we was packing.
Sweet. So that's a lot of damage off the start of the fight. Yeah, she is. What are the rest of you going to do about it, eh? Get wrecked. Thought so. Do we need to move? Probably not. We're comfortable being invisible up here. Maybe if we shuffle that way just in case Bella comes up those ladders. But he's surprised. Oh yeah, they're all probably surprised. So I guess we'll go and beat up some other buggers where we can. I should have probably gone for the guy who's first in the queue. But here we are. That guy's almost down. Brem is surprised. Yeah, Bella's kind of out of the way there, whereas from up here... Target outside normal range. I guess it's because we're just really high up. But we still connected. And then Lae'zel. Let's see. Can't quite reach. Yeah, can't reach there. Don't suppose you got any throwables? No. Because they do happen to be next to some explosive barrels and such. Generally it's a whole mess of explosion down there if we throw some of the right items, I would imagine. What we got? We got some Alchemist's Fire. It might blow up Lae'zel, you know. I think that's a price we can afford to pay. Yeah, that did a lot of damage. But it was funny, and that's the main thing. Probably blowing up this bit's not worth it, given us Astarion's already down here. And there we go, that's a level up for most of the crew. Not everyone, but most of us. So let's get to looting. What's Astarion need to level up? Like 17. So if we went down the elevator into the Underdark, we would probably get there, and it'd be fine. We've got some robbing to do. Also, maybe we do just open this chest. How hard can it be? 20. That's quite hard. But we've got multiple thieves' tools, so we're all good. Just about made it. And we've got an iron flask, gold, and a scroll of mage armor. So the iron flask can hold friends and foes, likely to make the former the latter. Excellent. We'll just hold on to that. Now, you've got a key as well. Everyone's got keys down here. You've got a whole lot of stuff. Bloody plum dye. And deep lilac. They both sound great. White and scarlet sounds pretty cool. Let's just take all of your rare dyes. We might just take everything you've got that's valuable. It's a bit cheesy, but what are you going to do? We'll stab you up if you complain too much. Although we are going to be super over encumbered probably, but that's fine. Astarion's a big strong boy, so he could hold all of our weapons. So anything that we might need, we'll leave most of it perhaps. Longbow +1. Potentially we could use instead of a hand crossbow. Is there any reason to use a hand crossbow unless you're using 2 of them simultaneously? I feel like maybe not. Some of your armor's pretty decent here. 15 for scale mail +1. Take less slashing damage, but disadvantage on stealth checks. Well, Lae'zel doesn't do stealth checks. So maybe we'll pop that on her. Is the giant breaker better than that crossbow that Shadowheart's using? Probably. I feel we can leave most of the rest of that stuff. Bella had very little on him. Rugen, we might have already robbed before, but very little on him. So yeah, I believe if we were to head into the Underdark via the elevator, we might get a little bit of exploration XP. And that might allow Astarion to level. And then we can worry about actually leveling everyone up. There we go. Just a smidge of XP, but that's all we needed. And then we've got a bunch of stuff we could rob down here as well, so... Is any of it actually valuable though? Or is it all just going to be stuff that we can then sell down the line? Therein lies the question, because if it's just stuff that we can sell, there's not much point in me robbing all this, because I'm already ahead of the game on the cash front. But heck with it, some of it's useful, like thieves' tools. Or camp supplies. Or even more thieves' tools, fantastic. Yeah, that's some light robbing done at the very least. Yeah, why not? Just a little more. Oh.
Are coming.
More?
Who? What in the hells are you? They're coming. They're coming.
Cryptic. Doesn't sound like the Urges though. The Urges tend not to give warnings.
No. Someone's coming. And someone else wants us to know. They are coming. You are coming.
Everyone's coming. Wonderful. Now there's traps down here, aren't there? I feel like that's a yes. There might be Minotaurs about. Yeah, there are. Can we go back up the netting, please? Because there's a trap right in front of us. What did I just say, everyone? Who's fallen over? That was Lae'zel, I guess. Makes sense.
Now's not the time.
Let's get her back on her feet. Oh, and the rope ladder's broken as well. Bloody hell. Short rest. That's the first and foremost. Now, let's all get over here. And I guess we should just get on with this whole leveling up thing. There's no reason why we should be holding it off any longer. Although it sounds like we've just gone into combat. So, dang it. No leveling up for us. Too much combat instead. Guess we'll start with... what shall we start with? Both the Minotaurs are in the fight. So I guess we'll start by just running in and punching the first one in the face. Level 4 to 5 is generally a big power increase. And we haven't got that power increase now. But it's only 2 level 4 Minotaurs. We should be fine. Missed. Well, we can always chat shit at it.
You listening? Majesty of Manure, sovereign of shit.
Yeah.
Ready.
Take that, you sovereign of shit. And now it's reeling as well, so it's less likely to hit us. Maybe we'll give it a bit of the old action surge. Yeah, there's not a lot to worry about here. Especially with Lae'zel having her super powerful sword. But she can't get in this turn to use it. So... bow. Nice. You're way too far away to do much of anything. And you just failed? You keep knocking us on our butts though. That's kind of rude. So, that one will give us an attack of opportunity if it can. So let's see. Ah, that's the one we've wounded quite a lot though. That's cool. Can we?
Dying for me. All of them.
That was a bit enthusiastic. Yeah, we can sneak attack. That's good. Are you armed? No. Can you be blinded? Excellent. That's wonderful news. Now we could move away if we wished. It's probably fine. We could use one of our key points to potentially get this one drunk. Fantastic. So what does that actually do for us? Disadvantage on Dex and Charisma checks. Not amazing then. But it also gives us life of the party. So we get a bonus to attack rolls and armor class against drunk targets. 95%. Natural 1. Critical miss. Outstanding. Now this one's thoroughly in trouble. It's blind, it's reeling. It's got Sylvanas' blessing though, because we've still got that idol about our person. Bam. That was a big, strong hit. We like that. Let's do it again. Reckless Roar? That makes it sound like it's a thing it's going to have. Yeah. It's like the barbarians' reckless attacks, I guess. Yeah, we've all got advantage. So. Amazing. This one is armed. So we'll give it a flick of the wrist. And now it's no longer armed. Now it's down. So what did it drop? A great club. Amulet of the Unworthy. Okay, we'll take those. Can sell them in a bit, I would think. So what about this great club that it's dropped? It did look pretty big. 2 to 24 damage. Not usable by humanoids. That's a big club. Oh yeah, there's a mine there. That was minutes ago. You can't expect me to remember these things. Level ups. That was the plan. Rogue level 5 has some features, but we don't need those right now because we're multi-classing, baby. Now, if you've played Baldur's Gate 3 since patch 8 at all, the term Hexblade Dip is probably pretty familiar to you. We are going to add some Warlock powers, but we're actually going more than a dip. What I'm thinking is 7 in Swashbuckler, 5 in Hexblade. That will be enough to give us an extra attack from the Hexblade side of things. But I still want to feel more roguey than Warlock. So, the Hexblade gives us some spells, gives us an action. We can bind a Hex weapon. So we can bind our main hand weapon. Its damage becomes magical. We can't drop it or throw it. We become proficient with it. And when we attack with it, we can apply Hexblade's Curse to the target. It also uses Charisma rather than any other stats for your weapon damage and such. We've already seen that on Lae'zel. So, yeah, same sort of deal here, except we're going for more than one level. Hexblade's Curse. Hex Warrior, we also gain proficiency with medium armor. I assume that putting medium armor on won't prevent us doing any of our rogue-related stuff. But if it does, that's not the end of the world. We'll just use light armor. So we've got 2 cantrips. Booming Blade, for sure. And then for our next trick, maybe Eldritch Blast. I'm not planning on using Eldritch Blast all the time, but we might want it for some situations. And spell-wise, we'll take Shield and we'll take Wrathful Smite. So we can just do more weapon damage and we can use our reaction to shield ourselves. Pretty cool. Now, Astarion will also be multi-classing, but not yet, because at level 5 he gains an extra attack, which is going to make him very strong, very powerful. And also Stunning Strike. Potentially can stun people. Again, Shadowheart is going to be multi-classing, but extra attack is very powerful, so we're going to sit with Fighter for now. And then what do we do with Lae'zel? We've got a new spell that we could learn. Thunderwave could be useful, but it might not hit very much. None of the other spells are all that useful for us. And now she's got a feat because she's reached level 4 in Fighter. And so that will give her a feat because that's tied to class level rather than character level. So, I think it might be Charisma, you know, because she's using Charisma for her attacks. Yeah, ability improvement Charisma will get the job done. Now we can go for a little bit of a stroll around the Underdark. Not very far, we've still got surface stuff to do, I think. But there is something I want to pick up down here. At least one thing. There might be more later, but there's one thing I'd like now. Let's shoot some Timasks for no obvious reason. It's more the torch stalks we need to be blowing up. So we'll pop a bunch of them.
Timask and torch stalks. Hell of a combination.
Yeah, it is.
Get confused by one, blown up by the other.
We don't want that. We don't want to be confused or blown up. We're confused enough as it is. But I think we've cleared the way.
You were swallowed by a chorus of turbulent music. Through one creature sing many voices. The harmony of an entire collective.
Sovereign, she has come. She is here.
The choir fades. A single melody rises above the others, brassy and commanding.
I am sovereign.
You see a vision. Your lifeless body wrapped in fungal tendrils. The Sovereign is threatening you.
State your purpose.
We can't really be threatened, I don't think. Sovereign is going to have to pay the price at some point or another. But for now, would you like to look at this little parasite?
The parasite is quiet. You feel no bond with the creature.
Okay. I mean, we could tell you about the parasite. Or we could potentially just pretend that we're just good guys. We're just travellers seeking adventure.
Fungal roots weave through your mind, seeking your true intent. Then the Sovereign drones a new melody, cautious but welcoming.
Descend to me. Let us speak in flesh.
The persistent music coaxes you forward. The Sovereign expects you.
He threatened us. That was his first mistake. And now he's invited us in. That was his second. Got ourselves a little waypoint. I suppose we can start by chatting to Sovereign.
You know, I can't tell if it's mourning, angry, or just hungry.
Could be all three. Could be mangry.
Sovereign's thick fingers stroke the corpse at its feet. A droning melody greets you as the creature turns its gaze to you.
Flesh talker. I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision grips you. Dwegar, dark dwarves chopping myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
The Sovereign's song slows to the pace of a dirge. It is still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The Sovereign's song halts as it measures your worth.
I sense your resolve. You will find Dwegar invaders near Lake's Edge. Cleanse the rot. Destroy them.
Dwegar invaders? We can manage that. Better than picking this fight, surely.
We can pick every fight, Shadowheart. And on the one hand, Dwegar are cool and fun. But on the other hand, we can certainly murder things. Yeah, we can handle those Dwegar nearby.
An illusion comes over you. A Dwegar choking on a cloud of gleaming dust.
Accept this gift. It will help you exterminate.
We do like exterminating.
The Sovereign gifts you one more vision. A wall of vines parting to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind. Cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the Circle a service. We will await word.
We will help the Circle. Now, what's this thing all about?
Don't.
Her condition is familiar. Poison, derived from a wild weed common to the Underdark. She'll need an antidote soon, most likely held by the poisoner.
You're in a bad way. We could end your suffering if you want. Ah, dang it. Let's roll again. I want to see what this goes with.
Hard to breathe. Blood's on fire. Do it.
Cool.
was under the protection of the Myconid Circle. They will see you answer for violating it.
Yeah, she was in pain. I granted her mercy.
The Circle's harmonies grow still, then surge again. In them you hear both goodwill and grief. The Myconids will raise her husk, life born from death, as penance.
Excellent. See, we did a good thing. We're helpers. And now she's going to get a new life where she's not poisoned. We're basically heroes, in fact. There we go.
It is not a gnome who stands before you, but a mere husk. It stands quietly, awaiting its Myconid master's command.
Cool. I've never seen that before. Now, one more thing we want to do down here is speak to friend Blurg.
Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tenses. His voice spills into your skull, the
That's his
spores
hand.
connecting mind to mind.
Where's my face?
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. Or perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than that of the fungi.
Were you here when the Dwerger attacked?
I observed the fight from a distance. Combat is not my field of expertise, but the Myconids handled themselves well enough. My colleagues and I are working to improve conditions in the Underdark. This need not be such a dire, hostile place. It's curious to find a surface dweller here. What has brought you down so deep?
Oh, all sorts of things. We kind of got lost down here this time, to be honest.
A common phenomenon in the Underdark, I'm afraid. Could I ask what you were searching for to begin with?
Go on then. Here's the whole story. Tadpoles.
You were infected by an illithid tadpole? It's a miracle you're still intact. You must be worried sick, but have no fear. I have a friend who may be able to assist. Omelium!
I hope this is important, Blurg. My Zerkwood samples need constant attention.
It is. This adventurer has an illithid tadpole inside her head, but she hasn't turned.
No ceremorphosis. That's impossible, but intriguing. Are you looking to have it extracted?
Geich, your head will make a fine trophy for my queen.
Please hold. I understand your rage against my kin. One of my brethren forced a tadpole into your eye. Or ear, perhaps. But I assure you, I stand with the Society of Brilliance, not the colonies of my people.
Are you saying that ear was an option the whole time? You could have put a tadpole in my ear instead. Well, I've made a lot of strange allies for information. Let's hear it.
Fool! They infest your head and invade your dreams, and still you would parley.
I ask only that you refrain from violence. I respect that your opinion of my kind may be charged. If that settles matters for the time being, would you like a diagnosis? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
Oh, you're not going to like this.
As the Meloan's mind pierces yours, the tadpole pulses with power. It feels 10 times its size. Alive, awake, almost smug.
This is most unusual. The incubation period should be complete, as should your transformation. But the lava is infused with strange magic. It appears to be in some form of stasis.
And what happens if the stasis goes away? As if we didn't know?
I can only theorize, but I suspect your transformation would be both agonizing and instantaneous.
I thought it was always agonizing, Ammalium.
Well, yes, but that wasn't my point.
Okay, well thanks for the information.
Of course. I am sorry I cannot assist you in its removal. But I have an idea.
Oh, perhaps I should start taking notes.
There may be a way to bypass that stasis. There are many alchemical substances that can influence the mind.
But isn't the stasis why the tadpole hasn't killed me yet?
I do not intend to shatter its protection. I need only bypass the interference that prevents me from communicating with the lava.
And what sort of alchemy are we talking about?
A tincture distilled from a collection of rare mushrooms. They have subtle psionic influence. I would require a fresh ton of madness and Timosk spores. But be warned, in their natural state, both of these mushrooms can be quite dangerous. Timosks cause confusion in those that approach them. The tongue is self-explanatory.
Where do I find them?
The Underdark, of course, although they are quite rare, and their discovery perilous. I imagine Lenore would have them in her possession. She served Mystra as a cleric.
Where does this Lenore live?
The southwest when I last saw her, although her tower does have a tendency to move.
Well, good enough. We'll come back when we find the mushrooms.
May your travels be safe and swift.
Now, what I actually wanted was to shop.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries?
No, I just want to trade with you.
I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking.
There might well be the Baneful. This blade's magical powers only function if it is bound to an Eldritch Knight or is a Warlock's pact weapon. So I'm pretty sure that will work if we make it a hexed weapon. +1 bonus to damage and attack rolls, and it can bane our targets on hit. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. Anything else we might need? The wearer's movement speed is unimpeded by difficult terrain. That could be useful. And then we've probably got all sorts of guff we can sell. Now, let me just double check something. If we put on this medium armour, we certainly gain armour class. But is that going to prevent us from doing our sneak attacks and whatnot? Looks like it probably won't. So that's cool. And then we can also put on the Baneful. 5 to 10 damage. But if we bind Hexed Weapon... Let's have a look. 6 to 11 damage. So it does seem to be working properly. That's very good. We'll test that out in a fight soon, I would imagine. Yeah, we need a long rest at some point. And then we'll test it out. Looks like we don't have the ability to talk to animals at this point. Also, we lost Leviathar's love when we died in that scrap with the Githyanki, and that's now permanently gone. So that's a shame. And actually, yeah, we've lost Longstrider as well, so I guess when we got beaten up, we lost all our buffs. So we can't be chatting to this deep growth. Yeah, that's not helpful. Also, we had the wrong character selected, but take my word for it, we can't chat to it.
Seems the shrooms are letting in more people every day. You see a fella on his own on your way in. Dwarf. Balin's his name.
Haven't seen him.
Right. Never mind.
That might be worth a look.
Flesh
Oh,
walker,
it's Glut.
tongue talker. Far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
I mean, what do you really want to know? Flayed skin, fireplace burning flesh, sipping a glass of gall.
It shudders, twisted by your brutal honesty. It reveals its own home in reply. A humid cove filled with decaying myconid corpses.
Nice.
Dwergar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. This circle does not welcome me. But I have heard the song. You mean to cleanse the Dwergar rot. I mean to join you.
Yes. Very well. Come along.
Remain in the Underdark, and I will follow. We cleanse the rot together.
That's the sound plan, but I'm not actually remaining in the Underdark right now.
No. I feel the Fair's Rest fading. I cannot leave the Underdark.
What do you mean by Fair's Rest?
It nourishes us all. The circles, the drow, we drink of its essence. Turn back. I am weak.
I believe we can just leave you here for now and press on, and then we can come back later and pick you up again. So that's what I'm going to do.
I will refresh myself near Spore's circle.
There we go. I'll be back, friend. But we have other business to attend to. Also, we've got some more tadpoles that we could stuff into Astarion. Where might these want to go? Calder Week. Let's see. Maybe Force Tunnel. Why not? I mean, Calder Week is on by default. Outstanding. So we are going to take a little bit of a nap. Replenish ourselves.
You carry a Githyanki relic. I will have an explanation. Or your head.
Walk away. Now. I won't warn you again.
Stop squabbling, both of you.
Remove yourself if you are so easily offended. This is not your concern.
Nonsense. You're just finally showing us what you really are. A reaver to the bone.
Spare your indignity. Every word that spills from your mouth is worth less than the last.
Right, stop this. We're not fighting each other.
Incorrect. Judicious bloodletting settles feuds and roots out the weak, the deceitful.
Do you hear this, Tripe? Our lives are at stake and she wants us to turn on each other.
No others. Just you and me.
What is this even about?
Lae'zel thinks I have something important to her people. She's deluded, clearly.
Lies. She carries an heirloom of my people. I must know why.
I mean, we don't need the Githyanki as enemies.
It's too late. You can't appease them. We have to do what's right for us. The artifact stays with me.
You think this can be settled with just words? No. Honor demands I take something from you.
Right, so how do we settle this?
The bad blood must be purged. A jewel come first light.
You mean I'd get to prove you wrong and thrash you? I love it. Get some rest, Lae'zel. You'll need it. You had every chance to look the other way. But here we are. You chose this.
Spare me the justifications, coward.
If anyone asks, I'll say you were transforming. Don't expect to be mourned.
Look, Shadowheart, knock it off. Ouch. I mean it, Shadowheart. Behave yourself.
She's a liability. It's the artifact we need, not her.
Let me up, and I'll show you.
We need a Shadowheart. Give her a chance.
Can I do that, Lae'zel? Can I turn my back on you?
Never. Thieves aren't afforded such luxury.
Loosen the grip on your pride for one blasted moment, won't you? We needn't be enemies. There's plenty of those to go around already.
What would you have? That we be friends?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
There we go.
But imagine what we might achieve if we channeled some of that hostility back at our real foes, instead of each other. They wouldn't stand a chance.
Now I want you two to hug it out. While I go to sleep next to my blood pile. Excellent. And it's another morning. And everyone's still alive. Now, armour. Ours has already died. But Lae'zel needs a colour. She doesn't currently have one. White and scarlet? Yeah, that looks kind of cool. So it's time for a rumbling, I think. We'll just move those arrows over to Shadowheart. Just in case. We might remember we've got them every now and again. Oh, and before we rumble, we should probably set up all our spells and stuff for the day. Marvellous. Now, quick chat with Shadowheart.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Something important.
Ooh. Now I'm intrigued. Do continue.
I could have died in that pod, back on the Nautiloid. You could have died, spending precious moments trying to free me, but you did it anyway. I owe you my life. Twice over, in fact. You supported me against Lae'zel. I may not have survived that night without you. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember. As long as I've prayed to Lady Shar, I've wished to serve her as a Dark Justiciar. There is scarcely a greater way to fully dedicate yourself to Lady Shar, save perhaps if you become the head of her church. To become a Dark Justiciar is to become the Night Singer's sword arm, her implement with which she will cast down the unbelievers and win the final battle to restore her perfect, endless darkness. It's all I ever wanted. I prayed it was my calling. But Mother forbid me from seeking to prove myself worthy of the rank. She said I was not ready. Not my mother, I should add. The Mother Superior, head of Lady Shar's enclave in Baldur's Gate. Sometimes I wonder if she would ever deem me ready. I owe her everything, and I only wish to serve, yet she can prove inscrutable.
Well, thank you for sharing, Shadowheart.
Thank you. I had a feeling you'd be understanding.
We kind of discussed some of it earlier. I'm not surprised that you want to become a Dark Justiciar. But for now, we've got some rumblings. You wanted to smack up some Githyanki, didn't you, Shadowheart? Maybe we can indulge you. You appear to have a dead tiefling. I'm pretty sure that wasn't me. And then a few more arrows. Very good. Now, are the Githyanki still down here? They are. And they're hostile. That's wonderful. Well, you wouldn't think it was wonderful. But it might help us with a job. As ever, it'll be a tough fight. But we've got an ace up our sleeve this time. Hello friends, it's us again. Would you like to meet my other friends? I assume ogres are perfectly happy to eat Githyanki. Now, what's our first actual manoeuvre? Sath Baretha. She is a pain in the butt. And she's level 6. So we should probably deal with her. But I don't think we can really get into range. So what we might do instead is a bit of Eldritch Blast. Oh, we've got 2 Eldritch Blast available because we're character level 5. Yeah. They both missed, but it's the thought that counts. Oh, you don't shoot me. There's ogres there. Gonna get a punch for that. And yeah, we'll go for a crit. That wasn't a huge crit. Not impressed. We'll go for a bite, actually. Get that bonus to our attack rolls and stuff, and then we'll use our extra attack. Wonderful. Oh, we forgot to drink our elixir, didn't we? That's why we're doing feeble damage. I knew there was something I'd forgotten to do as part of our morning ritual. But, oh well. We'll shoot that bugger as well. And down they go. One dead Gith. Now, Lae'zel, do you want to bring your cool new sword to bear? You're probably not going to be able to do it this turn. But it stands at the ready. Baretha wasn't expecting a shield. And then went invisible. And then we immediately saw through it. Shadowheart has been successfully held. Lump, go do your thing, my friend. Stop going for me, go for the ogres. You wretch. Very well. This bugger has successfully held Shadowheart, so we probably want to take them down if we can. But we can't, because 50% chance. I should have probably Misty Stepped. Give them a taste of their own medicine. I could also chat shit.
This'll be me.
Okay, that failed too. I want to test out this new short sword, but at the same time, I also don't want to just charge in there. No. We failed again. Oh, it's because I keep forgetting to drink our elixir, probably. But now we're ready. Now we're strong. Good grief. Baretha. And critical miss. Amazing. Yeah, we should probably put Hunter's Mark on you as well. Just because we've got it. And then maybe we'll Action Surge and try again. Okay. Yeah, you attack the ogres, not me. And you want to go toe-to-toe with Jolly. That's an interesting move. Yeah, these ogres aren't doing very much to help, but that's fine because I want them to die, so all is good. Should we start with the booming blade? That's good damage. Because booming blade is just straight up better than regular attacks at this point because of the 1d8. It's a regular attack plus 1d8 thunder, which we like. And then we'll give you a flick of the wrist as well. And now you've dropped your Githyanki longsword. Excellent. And now, yeah, we go 95% hit chance. That is more like it. And enormous damage as well. Can't argue with any of that. God damn. So we could just take out Berethra at this point. But I do still kind of want Lump to die. He's failing to do so right now. I think you can summon him 3 times though, so it's not the end of the world. Maybe we'll soften up Berethra a bit. And then when she gets fairly low, we might just attack the ogres. Well, there goes one. That's excellent news. Second one's going to come in and try and go toe-to-toe with her. We could try and go toe-to-toe with her as well, to be honest. 14 damage from an Eldritch Blast, so if they'd both hit, could have been like 28 damage. That would have been enormous. But yeah, let's just hang back for a moment. We could move away from her, but we don't want an attack of opportunity. Just going to give herself a bit of a heal. Lump doesn't appear to be wanting to do much of anything. Can we give her a shove? We can. And then we can also back off. There goes the second ogre. Now she's trying to get back in with us. Lump continues to want to hang back. Oh no, here he comes. Good. So let us all run behind Lump. Let's give her a bit of a shove if we can. Good. She's very shovable, it seems. And if Lump is the closest target, I feel like she's a simple sort. She will just go for the nearest target. Now we can kind of let this play out a bit. Down he goes. We might take a hit. We did. We took quite a big hit. I'm okay with that. We have conquered the conquerors.
Your skull trembles, your parasite wriggles. Lae'zel sees your memories of your confrontation with Kithrak Voss.
What confrontation?
Jastil Kithrak, Knight Supreme. An honorable warrior, Vlaakith's finest. He'd have led us right to the crash. Instead, he watches from the skies like a falcon, and we are his prey. Skvar, an unexpected complication. I am vexed. And more so, impressed. A lesser woman would be adorning the road as a shredded corpse. Yet your head remains firmly atop your shoulders.
I mean, impressive. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
If by nice you mean truthful, then consider me positively pleasant.
Okay.
Now, to the point. The creche is not far from where you met Voss. We must go there immediately. Unless, of course, you'd rather sprout waxy tendrils where there were no tendrils before.
No, I don't think I want that. We can make a move. We can also rob some stuff. An elaborate slate.
A Githyanki slate. Give it here.
Yes.
Tirsu markings. Could this be...
Magical energy courses through the slate, then to Lae'zel. Your own body buzzes in resonance. A mystical map glows before you, revealing a Githyanki refuge inside a temple within the mountain pass. The slate also reveals the Githyanki's purpose. They are combing the Sword Coast in search of a polyhedric relic of great importance to their queen.
Zorru did not lie. We will soon reach a Githyanki creche. It lies within an ancient temple at the mountain pass. Hurry forth. Purification is at hand.
Well, that's good. We do want a bit of purification. Oh, we've got another elixir for Astarion. Wonderful. I imagine the rest haven't got much of interest, just Githyanki crossbows. And Githyanki swords and such. But Friend Lump...
Just so you know,
Oops.
I don't judge you for what happened to that bard, Alfira.
Good.
But the look of guilt on your face was priceless.
I'm glad you had fun watching me sweat.
I don't care, really. But you could have been more subtle about it.
Noted. Now, I didn't mean to speak to you. I meant to rob Lump, because that was the whole point of this fight. Get back our 500 gold. And get the Warped Headband of Intellect, because we're going to need that much later down the line, perhaps. Bank and Chock didn't have anything of value. So, let's see. Ooh, Sunmelon piece. We'll take that. Yeah, that's enough robbing of bodies. We need to consider what our next move is. And we're going to do that next time. So until then, thanks for watching, friends.